Nude. Mention the word and some people feel very uncomfortable. Some people squirm and don't want to look you straight in the eye. Some people will even avoid you because they don't want to acknowledge their vulnerability and insecurity. The term cancer is a bit like the word nude. It's confronting, it's uncomfortable, and it leaves you raw and exposed. In its final stages, it strips away your dignity, so you are bare. It breaks the hearts of the loved ones around you. My purpose here this morning is not to sugarcoat ovarian cancer, but to give you the naked truth. Good morning. My name's Trudy Crowley. I'm 44 years of age and have been married to my wonderful husband Damien 25 years this April. We have two beautiful sons. Our eldest son Jacob is 24 years old and is married to Melissa. They've had our first adorable grandchild Ryan, who is now 3. Our youngest son Levi is 21 years old, and recently his partner Kayla gave us our precious gift, our little granddaughter Emerson, just 2 weeks ago. We are a local born and bred family who have lived in Mackay, North Queensland all our lives and would not change for any other place in the world. Our tight-knit family means everything to Damien and I. This is a story of how my life and the life of my family changed forever. On Friday the 26th of February 2016, I left work like any other week, looking forward to the weekend and spending time with my family. However, I woke up Sunday morning with a pain in my lower back and kidney area, and a lump had appeared on the left-hand side of my neck. I felt like I'd been hit by a bus. For about 6 months I've been experiencing bad kidney infections and I thought it was yet another one. By Monday afternoon I was still feeling sick and I was extremely tired, so I called the doctor. After the consultation she advised that my symptoms were not ticking the boxes of a kidney infection and she wanted to run further tests. So the next morning blood tests and ultrasounds were conducted. The radiographer noticed a pain in my stomach and arranged for me to have a CAT scan urgently. My GP was concerned that I might have appendicitis, so she sent me to the hospital to meet with a surgeon. The surgeon advised to me that he didn't need to see me and sent me home. As you can appreciate, it was rather confusing and worrying. We returned to the doctor to receive the blood test, CAT scans and ultrasound results, and it showed that I had something going on. The CAT scan revealed 3 lymph nodes were enlarged on the right-hand side of my stomach, and the case was sent to a haematologist specialist in Townsville, which is a 5-hour drive away. At this stage, I wasn't concerned, and I honestly thought I would turn to my role as an office manager in the next few days. However, little did I understand the gravity of what was about to unfold. Thursday morning, I received a phone call from the haematologist specialist who wanted to see me urgently. An appointment was scheduled for Monday. There was no diagnosis, but my doctor advised at least we got it early. What did we get early? The daunting roller coaster ride started Monday. The ride was going so fast that I felt I was no longer had control of my life. Damien and I had to drop everything and head to Townsville for further testing. The PET scan exposed that I had a large lymph glands in the stomach, chest and left-hand side of my neck showing abnormal activity. The oncology doctor suspected lymphoma leukemia. This of course opened up a Pandora's box, as my mother was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia at the same age as me as 43. To confirm this, I had a biopsy and another week of waiting. All week I had prepared myself mentally for the fact that it may be leukemia, but we were thrown a huge curveball just before Good Friday last year when the result disclosed it was not leukemia, rather than a secondary cancer. This is like someone had slapped me in my face and it was red raw. I knew then I was in a lot of trouble. The oncology doctor didn't know the primary source, so once again there was more tests and waiting. Additionally, I had to change oncology doctors because it was no longer a blood cancer. More tests, more change and more waiting. Damien and I sat nervously waiting to meet our new oncologist. It was imperative that I remain positive and calm. This was no easy feat when faced with so many unknowns. Then the second blow came. This time it went straight for the heart. Dr. Ansari advised that I had incurable ovarian cancer, stage 4, grade 3, and it was inoperable. An aggressive cancer that had been silently working within me for the last 6 months, when the kidney infections and bleeding from sex had started. Now the roller coaster was out of control. I was trying to digest the news and ask questions whilst I watched my darling husband fall to pieces in front of me. Was this really happening? My emotions were running wild with fear, sadness and heartache that my family would have to endure all this. There was going to be no smooth ride, only one with bumps, faulty brakes and sharp corners. I started chemo in the same hospital on the same day that marked my mother's 8th year anniversary. Cancer had taken her too young. As a mother and a wife, we are meant to protect our loved ones, nurture them and not cause them heartache and pain. However, there was very little I could do to protect my family and friends because cancer doesn't discriminate. It is powerful and it is aggressive. It's a heavy weight on your shoulders that you live with day in, day out. I didn't cry until I was told that I couldn't see my grandson whilst having chemo. Then the tears fell heavily. After my first round of chemo, I was lost and scared. I didn't know who to ask for help and support. I needed to talk to someone with ovarian cancer, someone who understood what I was dealing with. I had all the facts, I'd bury my head in Google, but I wanted real people. The fact that there was such a lack of support in Mackay and the surrounding regions made me feel quite isolated, which made me embark on a journey of awareness. The lack of support and information made me angry and frustrated. So my quest to help others and myself started. I made contact with Ovarian Cancer Australia, and since their support with my initial phone call, they've been truly amazing. For me, ovarian cancer is a silent killer, but I won't be silent. So whilst in my hospital bed, I started to organise a committee, and with their amazing support alongside Mackay businesses, I was able to launch my business, The Nude Lunch Ovarian Cancer Exposed. My intention to raise money and expose every part of this dreadful cancer. I could have shielded away from explaining every symptom, but in my heart I knew I had to do this the right way, the good way, the bad, and the ugly. After all, education is key to early detection, so I bear it all. One of my first symptoms was bleeding with sex. I explained that my husband encouraged me to go to the doctor, but I thought it was just a case of me being over 40 and the old girl was breaking down. I dismissed it all. Now I know better. It was actually one of the symptoms of ovarian cancer. I was truly humbled by the response from women and men who took notice of my journey. People sent letters and messages. Some mentioned that they or their wives had similar symptoms and they went to the doctor for a checkup. Other women discussed how they thought pap smears detected ovarian cancer. My story raised awareness and people were now talking about ovarian cancer. This was an important milestone for me. Last year we had a 9-year-old girl in our community diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Such news shocked the region and the nation as it made headline news. It is for this reason that I shout loudly. The people need to be aware of the signs and symptoms, and greater research needs to be conducted to ensure tests for early detection is available. I'm very pleased to say Nude Lunch Ovarian Cancer Exposed raised $40,000 for ovarian cancer from our first year's event, which exceeded my goal of $20,000. The silent killer was exposed, but we need to do so much more. I have sacrificed precious time with my family and friends to raise awareness and important funds for research. I knew this was something I had to do. However, imagine the difference if the government that provided Ovarian Cancer Australia adequate funding to implement the National Action Plan for Ovarian Cancer Research. Imagine if the government could provide funding for resources that promote awareness, education and support networks. Then women like myself could spend our precious days purely focusing on quality time with our family and loved ones. After all, the stark reality is that time is my most precious gift of all. Raising money and awareness is a full-time job for me, but it's essential to ensure no other woman or family goes through ovarian cancer alone. Today I stand here raw, emotional, vulnerable and exposed, and I'm proud to be here today to wear this teal ribbon. The biggest fight of my life continues. The current treatment is not helping and the cancer is still growing. I need to have treatment every 3 weeks to stay alive. I was advised last year to finalise my life insurances and have them paid out, as I may only have 12 months. But to me, this is only a number and I still have so much to do. If I am granted one final wish, it is my hope that you and I, together with Ovarian Cancer Australia, can make a change, that we can make a difference. I wish for the Australian Government to pledge its support to Ovarian Cancer Australia for research, education treatment and support for all Australian women. Ovarian cancer is the most lethal gynecological cancer, affecting 1 in 70 women, with more than 50% of women diagnosed not surviving more than 5 years. It is a silent, aggressive and powerful killer. I will not be silent, and I will share the naked truth. Thank you.